The Knicks played their first preseason game on Monday night at the world's most famous arena as they defeated the Celtics 114 to 107. New York Post Knicks beat reporter Stefan Bondy was in the building for the first preseason contest, and he joins me now. Steph, how's it going, man?
Great, man. Great. It's good to see basketball again.
It was good. Basketball, well, basketball doesn't count. We got played, yes, it doesn't count yet, but we saw that yesterday. And, basketball that will count is coming soon. That always has me excited. So it's good to see basketball again, especially back at the Garden. Always good to see that. Now, Steph, the other day, you and I, we talked about how likely it would be that the Celtics would rest their starters as they were playing on a back-to-back, and they did so. The Knicks starters, they were going up against Boston's B squad in this one. 6 New York players reached double figures on Monday night. What did you make of their performance against the Celtics?
Listen, you can't take away much from that game just because, like you said, the Celtics rested all their guys, not 1 or 2 of their guys. They rested all of them. And the Knicks really took it easy in terms of rotation. Jaylen Brunson only played 6 minutes. Julius Randle didn't play at all in the second half. So it was really like it's a tune-up, and it was literally a tune-up. I think that was the plan all along, and I think you can be encouraged by the way certainly the starters played. I mean, they were supposed to handle their minutes against the Celtics B squad, and they did. And then you have an encouraging performance from Emmanuel Quickly, who came off the bench and really showed a command of the offense and scored a game-high 21 points. And then Dante DiVincenzo, a lot of eyes were on him just because it was his Knicks debut, and he started. It was rocky in the beginning. I mean, he missed a lot of his shots in the beginning, but he kind of turned a corner in the third quarter and put up a semi-respectable stat line. So really, it was just a positive experience for the Knicks. Nobody was injured, and they move on in training camp.
That is always the positive in the preseason. Nobody was injured in these games as they move forward. Now, you mentioned Emmanuel Quickly, Stefan, and he played well, shooting 8 of 14 from the field. He also had 3 steals, 3 assists. The guard was very focused on his development this offseason. What can you tell us about his offseason focus heading into this upcoming season?
Yeah, I actually talked to his trainer down in Miami yesterday, Reese Whitley, and it was really a regimented situation with him in terms of getting with the focus of getting stronger, avoiding injuries, and also maintaining the explosion and the shot making that he had last season. And it, you have to understand with Emmanuel Quickly, this is a big time for him. He is eligible for a life-changing money extension with the deadline coming up on October 25th. So he came in with the idea of not only improving on his season last year, but taking that step that he sees himself as not only a 6-man candidate, but also like a fringe all-star type kind of guy. I think that he showed last season that he can improve in areas that people didn't think he could. On defense, I mean, he took steps that nobody thought were possible for him. And he stuck with the same trainer. He stuck with the same regimen of training, and came in here even more focused.
Yeah, and focus. He wants to get that contract, as you mentioned, and we'll see how that turns out for him and also his play this upcoming season. Now, another Knick guard we got to talk about is that Evan Fournier. He's made it very clear, Steph, that he wants to play. He got 21 minutes against the C's, scored 11 points. Is there any chance the veteran guard can crack the 9-man rotation here?
I guess there's a chance. There's always a chance. And, in the NBA, there's always injuries. But I just don't see it happening. And that's not to say that he doesn't deserve a spot. I think there's room for him as a 3-point specialist when they need points. I thought in the Miami series last season that he could have served a purpose, served a role, because they were really struggling to score. I know Jaylen Brunson can be a knockdown 3-point shooter, but Evan Fournier is probably the best pure 3-point shooter on this Knicks roster. With that being said, his defense was too much of an issue for him when he started 2 seasons ago, and he was pulled from the rotation very early last season and hasn't been able to climb back in there. And Quentin Grimes has served that role very well. Thibodeau appreciates Quentin Grimes, and then they went out and signed Dante DiVincenzo. Emmanuel Quickly is in that guard rotation. There just aren't minutes. And the Knicks value Evan Fournier's expiring $19 million contract, which is a big reason why he's still on the roster. They're looking for a trade partner to kind of match salaries so that they can use Fournier in that way. But him cracking the rotation, it's a long shot. It's a long shot. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's a long shot.
All right, there's a chance, but not very likely. The Knicks have a lot of depth at the guard position. We'll see how all that plays out. Now, Jaylen Brunson, he got the start against Boston, but only played 6 minutes. Do you expect the starting point guard to play much at all in the remaining 3 preseason games?
Well, he's going to play in 2 of the 3 remaining because remember, the last 2 are back-to-back. So he's only going to play in 1 of those. But the 2 games that he is going to play, I think it's going to be a gradual increase in minutes. Tom Thibodeau said that in the final game, now we don't know whether that's going to be the 3rd or 4th game because, like I said, that's a back-to-back. It's going to be more resembling the regular rotation, certainly than it was in game 1 last night. So, yeah, I do expect him to play more. And remember, Josh Hart sat yesterday. He sat, in large part because he was part of that World Cup team. He played all summer. Jaylen Brunson played all summer for Team USA. And, RJ Barrett did as well. He sat the second half yesterday. So they don't look at Jaylen Brunson like he's going to have to shake off a lot of rust. He played a lot of minutes for Team USA, and that's how they view it right now.
All right, Jaylen Brunson getting a lot of rest before the season starts. The next preseason game for the Knicks is on Saturday when they host Minnesota. Stefan Bondy will be there. He is the Knicks beat reporter for the New York Post. Steph, thanks for the time. We will talk some more Knicks hoops again soon.
Always.